Operation status quo. Operation status quo. Prepare to engage. Operation status quo. Ready to engage. Operation status quo. Engaged. Engaged. How do you doodly do? It's me and you together again here on Operation Status Quo, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, it's not me and you, it's you and I. Just you and I. But it's a lot of you and I's because it's you and I and all the other I's out there. But you are the only I that's really important. You light up my life. What the heck is happening here? Operation Status Quo. Isn't it so much fun just to be here? Heyo. The live stream of consciousness. That's what I'm going to start saying. I said that in the last episode, and I'm realizing that's exactly, I find, quite honestly, ladies and gentlemen, that I do a much better job if I let the show be the live stream of consciousness as opposed to me trying to actually formulate direct thoughts and stay on topic. It's like it works a lot better. I said that, this is a channeled broadcast in a way. I've, as always, first of all, I am Pete.Palma. Hello. If you're new here, welcome. Thanks for being here. It might be a little much for you to take in the beginning, but just hang in there. Eventually, your brain will melt enough that you will be right into the flow of everything that's happening here. But I am Pete.Palma. I am your user-friendly host. This is Operation Status Quo, the place where we observe the status quo of life, the place where we learn to flow with the status quo of life. And then, of course, we learn to create our own flow of quo, because that's the only way to go. I think I'm having some kind of seizure. Wait a minute. Just give me a few seconds here. Don't get upset with me. Just give me a minute. I'm not trying to cause a problem. It's not funny. Don't laugh at my ailments and mental incapacities and such and everything else that goes along with it. More applause. More applause. 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 Why should I make a show about anything? This is much better. All right. Hold on, I got to go back because that mad crowd, once they get going, they don't stop. That's the problem. But now that never mind. I'll get into that after. I'm not going to start making insulting comments from the beginning. But this is Operation Status Quo. I said all that, right? So welcome. How you doing out there, ladies and gentlemen? It's a pleasure as always to be here with you and have a good time. That's what this channel is all about. It's just about having a good time, hanging out, chatting, talking about life. Observe. It's very simple. That's what I say. We observe life. We see what's going on. We kind of poke fun at things. We kind of learn not to take things seriously. Remember that we're all just going through what we're going through and doing what we're doing. And it's like really not that heavy and not that serious because eventually we'll all be dead, for God's sake, ladies and gentlemen. We'll all be dead. Stop whining about it. You were dead before and now you're back. And then you'll be dead again and you'll be back again. What's the problem? Stop crying, for God's sake. All right. Today is the, I realize I've only done 2 live streams, I guess, for your benefit. I've only done 2 live streams so far this month. It's crazy how this month has gotten away. Like, obviously, it was the new year, obviously, the first and all. But that, kind of happened in the middle of the week, right? So that was a wash the first couple of days of the year. And then the weekend, then you got the first full week of the year after that. And then before you know it, you're 2 weeks in, you're starting to do stuff, catching up on things and blah, blah, blah. Before you know it, here we are on the 22nd. Today is indeed the 22nd of January in the good year 2025, and today's program is entitled Soul Depletion Mode. Soul Depletion Mode. And it's funny because I really just enjoyed that title because I was talking to a friend of mine and he was talking about how he has this huge 80-something inch TV, one of the newer ones. For those of you who don't know, I'm proud to say that I still have my TV that I purchased back in 2010, which is a 55-inch plasma Panasonic. I don't have a smart TV, or I don't have anything hooked up to it, or I don't know. Not that I don't like TV. I'm just saying I never really, people really think about that stuff a lot. Got to get a new this and a new that. I really don't do that. Even with my phone, I had an iPhone 6S for the longest time until the 13 came out. So I went from a 6 to a 13, and the only reason I got the 13 is because I was moving here to Florida, and I wanted something a little better as far as navigation and everything on the phone to help me out. I wanted anyway, but I still got the 13, and here we are some years later. So what are they up to now on the iPhones? I don't. Does it matter? Why are we talking about that? Because that's not what we're talking about. But my friend was talking about his TV, and he kept saying, he said the TV actually talks to him and tells him, you've been watching too long, or something like that. And then he has to switch it to this other mode, so the colors and stuff aren't so vibrant. He says he sits there and he starts to get headaches and feel woozy and things get blurry. And I'm thinking, this is so crazy. It's exactly what TV, how we talk about here on Operation Status Quo, because we're observing life and we're realizing that the mainstream world is set up to, keep us from our full potential, whatever that may be. Again, we're not angry. We're not trying to create a fight in any regard. We're just observing it and realizing it and not giving our power away to it. That's the way we have to live in this world, not to say, not to try to fight against everything, but, our fight, if you want to look at it as you're trying to fight against something, then the fight really is just turning away from the things that are, basically not working for your best interests. So it's I'm just laughing, it reminded me of Fahrenheit 451, the book, the TVs are all on the walls, everything's TVs. And that's basically what we're up to in a sense. This guy's got this huge 80-something inch TV on his wall, and he's sitting there, it's just nah, and he's drooling half to death. So, but I wanted to take it a step further in soul depletion mode. Because soul depletion mode is not just, that's why I came up with that title, because when he was telling me about the TV, was telling him to switch to some mode, less vibrant mode. I forgot what he said, something, right? And I said, sounds like you're watching soul depletion mode. He started laughing. And I said, I'm going to keep that for a title for a show. Anyway, but I realized that the soul depletion mode encompasses more, obviously, than just watching TV. And I want to say this, preface, because no one's perfect, and it's not about you have to not enjoy things in life or do things in life, all right? Because I was speaking even a few shows ago about the sports and stuff, and talking about, how much of it is real and how much of it is kind of, rigged in a sense and whatever. Doesn't mean we don't enjoy things. Same thing with food. I mean, we know a lot of it is poison out there. I mean, you want to enjoy something from time to time. I guess, no big deal, but you should know, just like everything. I talked about religion in the last episode, and I was kind of talking about, just the fact of it's okay, whatever you believe and whatever works for you, but do it with a space of knowing that, it's just a tool in this life for something that resonates with you or the way you do, everything. That's what I'm trying to say. I always just want to kind of preface it with that a little bit, because, I'm not trying to tell people what to do or what's right or wrong, because I'm the first one to say there is no ultimate answer for anything. Everything is in play, because that's the necessity of this existence, for everyone to find what they need to learn the lessons they need to learn. I mean, the possibilities are limitless and endless for realities and possibilities. So whatever, right? But I just think it's important for us as human beings, encapsulated in this fleshy suit for the time being, to realize that particular fact. And to me, that's why this place, Operation Status Quo, is a place of love and joy, because it's like a place of true liberation, because it's okay to talk about everything that's going on in the world. It's okay to, understand, utilize things, or be part of. It's not like you have to take yourself out of, sit like a monk on top of a mountain and just meditate until you croak. I'm just saying, you're here, you're humans, you engage, but let's just be realistic and know it's like having a Play-Doh set. You got all the different colors. You open up the cans, you use a little bit of this one, you use a little bit of that one, you make, whatever you're going to make. But really, it's just, that's what our existence is. It's like, a Play-Doh set, like all these little cans of Play-Doh, different colors, and everybody just picks what they kind of want and what works with them and what they like, and they build, their life, their Play-Doh life. Maybe I should have called the show The Play-Doh Life. This is the Play-Doh life. Dun, 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 dun. We build our lives with Play-Doh. We use Play-Doh to build our lives. Where's my damn AO? Come here. Heyo. Thank you very much. That's my friend Roger, for those of you that don't know. So we'll kind of maybe take this topic just a little step further. I was watching a YouTube show last night that I watch sometimes, and they started getting into the conversation, the gentleman, about things changing now that Trump is back in office and such. And I found this very interesting, especially since, after the inauguration, yesterday is his first full day and all the things that he's doing. And honestly, again, you guys know I'm not political. I really don't care. I don't believe in our system. I believe it's all a show one way or the other. Do I like Trump? Yes, I find him entertaining. I find what he's doing to be, part of a plan for the betterment of humanity down the line, although a lot of people don't see it that way. Again, if people can just take, him out of it, that's just to go back before I go further. So even when I do this show, when I say about live stream of consciousness, I find the best thing to do is to take myself out of it, take Pete out of it. If I don't concentrate on Pete, then everything just kind of happens the way it happens. This isn't me. I don't even know who I am. I'm nobody. I'm just an existing entity. And right now I'm just connecting with certain frequencies and vibrations. And this is happening. This is happening right now, for better or for worse. And the same thing, people who hate Trump, what do you hate Trump for? Who gives a crap? He's just an expression, just like anything else is an expression. So, I just like to take it that way. I'm not advocating anything. I think our system is pretty much diseased. And again, it's all part of soul depletion mode. Our politics, our mainstream structures, everything that, is fed to us as a population as far as how we're boxed into a certain level of thought and where we should be. So you know what I'm talking about, guys, right? Are you with me and all? Let me know in the comments. Say something for God's sake. But anyway, so, and they were talking about the thing with, him being back in office, and and the one person was a little, just saying not it wasn't sounding like he was against them, but just kind of saying with January 6th, we started going on with the January 6th stuff. And I have to be honest, that's one of those things that drives me crazy too, just like the mask, like the mask always drove me crazy, that people believed it and put it on, and January 6th drives me crazy too. I really can't believe that people believe that was like an insurrection, that something happened, like that actually happened the way it was told through the mainstream narrative. This is what I'm talking about, of people liberating themselves. It's not about starting an argument over anything, because the guy kept saying, well, there's video evidence of this and that he was talking about. And I'm thinking, it's like, yeah, you see a video, but they made the videos. Like, I'm not saying some people didn't get hurt or some things didn't happen, just like 9/11, that was a staged event too. They made it look like it was a terrorist thing, but we know that that's not really the case. So it's not about being angry, and fighting about like what's real, what's not. It's about looking at from a step higher and seeing what are the events that they are creating in the programs that they are trying to have the general population assimilate into their consciousness for how they would like to see humanity proceed. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So this is when people start getting into the thing about insurrection, they keep calling them Nazis, and I'm like, guys, not for anything. Let's be real. Like, the World War II never really ended. They just kind of moved the Nazis over to America. America's been Nazis, since then. Everybody thinks this is what I'm saying. This is what I keep trying to say. It's not about, forget about countries, forget about borders, forget about, all this type of stuff. There's a conglomerate of people or off-planet entities or energies or whatever you want to say that have on a higher realm that are in charge of, running what goes on generally, right? I'm not saying, but there's good and bad. I think there's an ebb and flow of what forces have more power over humanity at certain times. That's why, again, I think Trump is part of something larger that's moving humanity into a better period, but we've been in a period for multiple generations of basically, demise. So, it's the same thing. They create, like, how are we going to, guide the population? I'm not trying to. I know people starts getting into this crazy conspiracy stuff, but like, when you really look at everything down the line and how everything fits together, especially with the whole thing with the Federal Reserve and the formation of the United States and the original Constitution, and then how things changed when the United States became the corporation in the 1800s or whatever, there's it's so deep, and it's not about, United States and this is what they do, and this is Europe and that's what they do, and this is whatever, that's what they do. It's, if they're the people who, and the entities and the energies and the whatever that really run things, have factions, all around the world, right? And the United States does one part, Russia does another part, they all do parts, in a sense. So that's why it makes me crazy when everybody fights over the politics and fights over these things. And then they take these events like January 6th, and people are still like, after everything we've been through all this time, people will still believe. Tell me what you think in the comments. You still believe that there was an insurrection that day? It was more than obvious that, and plenty of evidence of things I've seen and, over the time of, that those people were let in. I mean, just, it wouldn't happen, right? I mean, it's never happened. It's not going to happen. And there was anything that was said or done that day that was like, we gotta go down there and and destroy anything. I mean, there's plenty of video showing Trump saying, peacefully march. It's like, let's peacefully march with pitchforks and torches and see how it turns out, because how much of the crowd was probably drunk anyway, right? And pissed off. People are just looking for a fight, right? They don't care about the politics of it. No, but anyway. Soul depletion mode, and that's the gist of what I was saying here today, because I just believe that it's not just about sitting. I mean, obviously watching TV and following mainstream whatever is definitely depleting your soul, but it's bigger than just sitting there watching TV. It's like you have to just remember that they're always working on depleting your soul. Hopefully we're moving in a better space. I think we are. I mean, this is why I'm so positive all the time, because again, we observe life. We're just observing. This is a part of what goes on. So if we observe it and we can be aware of it, then we can act accordingly and live our lives in a way that it doesn't influence us the way that they're trying to have it influence. It's like, again, if we don't give attention to it, if we don't give space to it, then it has no room to grow and flourish, right? So anyway, that's what's going on here on Operation Status Quo. How you guys doing out there, by the way? It's a little bit chilly, so I got a long sleeve shirt on today because, I'll have to say this. I posted a short. You can go check it out in my shorts section. Don't check out my shorts, but check out my shorts section on this channel. I posted a video today. Very important video. It was the first time I have turned on my heater since I have lived in Florida. It was actually just a little bit too chilly today, and it's going to be in the 50s the next couple days and in the 30s at night. And quite honestly, I've become wussified living down here in the South, and how warm it usually is. So this 50-degree temperature is, I apologize for those that are in the sub-zeros right now. I understand it's colder, but relatively speaking, it's chilly here. So I did have to turn the heat on today for the first time ever living in Florida. Give a round of applause for that. I'm really disappointed, though, quite honestly. I wanted to make it. I wanted to make it the rest of my life without turning the heat on. Hey-o! But anyway, I understand. Relatively speaking, it's chilly here. So anyway, that's what I got for you here today. Soul depletion mode. Keep your eyes open all the time, but don't be staring at the TV. Realize how things are used and manipulated. Nothing's good or bad. Nothing's right or wrong. Everything has a purpose and a place. It's just a matter of how we utilize it. Same thing with television. Same thing with everything, religion, whatever. Even politics. I'm sure there's a place for it in a certain regard. I just don't like it personally. I think politics is like kind of stupid and boring. But hey, people are into what they're into. So who am I to say? I'm not complaining. I'm saying you're a bad person. But let's just finish off. Stop believing in these goofy, whatchamacallit. Well, I wanted to say, stop, all the goofy crap they do. Stop it with the mask. I know we're done with that, really, but, some people are still into it. So just, January 6th, I mean, come on, all right? It wasn't an insurrection. Just relax, everybody. They don't even talk about it. They talk about, like, the police did and this, that, and the other, and then they I mean, how about that woman that was supposedly killed? I don't even believe that she was killed, that Ashley Babbitt, whatever. Like, I don't believe any of it. Like, I don't believe Trump really got shot in the ear. These are all staged things that they do to just program your mind, if you really see it that way, especially watching the news, just watch the way they talk and the things they say and how they describe it. I mean, I don't know. I just think it's blatantly obvious. And yet people really just keep giving their energy to it. And that's what's frustrating to me. But that's my problem, not yours. I'm just trying to say that this is a space where we can break free from that and all be one loving community, and even though we may have differences, right? Even the same thing with the with the trans stuff. All these trans people are upset now because Trump wants to say there's two genders, male or male and female, right? Boy, girl, whatever, and I'm laughing because they're all, arguing over it. I'm just saying, like, this is, like, again, like, why are we creating this type of issue? It's fine if you feel that you want to create yourself as a different gender than, what your biological makeup is. You want to do things. fine. There's no problem. Do it. But it comes down to this. The basic of everything is you either have a dick or you don't. Okay? You have a dick or you don't. It's like, that's it. If you still have the dick, you have a dick. You dick or you don't. That's just it. Hey-o. That should be the policy. Dick or don't policy. It's like, that's pretty much it. Either a dick or you don't have a dick, and we can solve it all pretty quick. Everything else doesn't matter. You want to have boobs, you want to do, you want to make your lips, hair, I don't know, whatever. The girls want to be boys. They can be boys, but you got a vag, so you either have a vag or you have a dick. It's pretty simple. I don't know what the fight is for all this time. You can feel like anything you want to feel like and be anything you want to be. Be it. I'm a beautiful woman. That's great, but you got a dick, okay? I'm going to leave it there. So let's not be controversial. Was that controversial? This is a place of love. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Wait a minute. No, I'm all right. Hold on, I'm all right. Love is all you need. All right. I'm going to leave it there. Soul depletion mode. Just remember that our mainstream world is a consistent ball of soul depletion mode. All right. That's what it's doing. So break free of the mainstream. That's what we say here on Operation Status. Do we say that? I don't know, but we're saying it today. That's for sure. Thank you guys so much for being with me here today on Operation Status Quo. If you haven't done so already, please take the time to like, subscribe, share, send this out to your friends, your family, those you love, and of course, those you despise as well. As you very well know, I love each and every one of you out there individually as well as a group. God bless you. Don't forget to check out pete.palma.com and my other YouTube channel, Pete Palma Music. All right. Stick all that stuff's coming along. My album's coming out May 2nd. So we'll be talking more about that stuff as time goes on. But in the meantime, for now, Operation Status Quo disengaged.